What's up, mi gente? Welcome to Familia Assets. I am your host, Osmar Lopez. Sorry I wasn't able to upload a video yesterday for Familia Fridays. I know there's somebody out there that's disappointed. Ayan, my bad, man. We'll go ahead and make it up to you today. For this week, we're gonna do Familia Saturdays. But the reason that I wasn't able to upload a video yesterday is because my baby girl was born. She was born on Wednesday, the 21st. But we have been, running around trying to get everything situated, trying to get everything that we need. We weren't really expecting her, so soon. My girl was due for the beginning of August. But it looks like, my princess she was ready to get started, man. She's just like her daddy. I'm still in disbelief, that we have her here already. We are at home already. I'm already thinking about opening up a Roth IRA for her. It's crazy, how much my mentality has changed. When Matias was born, I was still doing the same old thing, drinking. I knew that I always wanted, the best for him. But at that time I was kind of lost. I didn't know what exactly the best for him was. We are on the right path now. I'm glad, my son is up to date. He knows what he got to do. For those of you who don't know, I am trying to get the word out there. I'm trying to bring financial literacy into la comunidad latina. We definitely need to start talking about these type of things within the family. I want people to at least know. I don't want them to be like, hey, well, we didn't know. So that's why I'm doing this. This is something that I want everybody to know. If you want to keep on doing what you've been doing, hey, that's up to you. But we do gotta see, if we're not seeing any results with what we're doing, then we gotta make some changes, right? We gotta have to pivot, and we're gonna have to do something else to see if it works. And if that doesn't work, then we can try something else. But this is definitely the direction that you guys want to be going. This goes out to all my youngsters out there, including myself, but especially for teenagers. Well, this information is really for anybody at whatever age you're at. It's never too late to start planning for your retirement. This is something that we really don't think about. I remember when I was working, they were telling me about a 401k. They kind of laid everything out. But at that time, I was too busy, doing my own thing. I wasn't worried about retirement. I wasn't even thinking about, a year from where I was at, let alone 20, 30, 40 years out in the future. But things have definitely changed. So this is for everybody out there. This video is talking about a Roth IRA account. So we all got to open up our Roth IRA account. If you're 18, you can do it yourself. You can open up your own Roth IRA. If you're under 18, then go ahead and talk with your parents, for opening up a Roth IRA for you. We definitely need to do this. This has to be something that is mandatory. It has to be mandatory like that colcha that we have, in all Latino houses, that thick colcha with the lion on it or the eagle. It has to be that type of mandatory, right? We have to start thinking about our retirement. It's something that is taboo, I guess I would say, because nobody really talks about that, especially in our community, right? There is people now that I've seen, on Instagram. There is a big community of Latinos that are talking about finances, but it's still something that is kind of in the dark to a lot of us. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring light on all of us that are talking about finance, because we could definitely learn something new from anybody that we come across. But let's start planning for our retirement, right? The earlier we start, of course, the better off we will be. We don't want to depend on the government for our retirement. It's our job to worry about that. As much as we would like to think, that the government is out here for us, they're going to be helping us and they're going to be taking care of us until we die. That's definitely not the case. So we got to start having a different mindset. But first, we do have to open up our Roth IRA account. We have to open one up for ourselves. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Plan. Let's not forget to take advantage of the 401k if we are working. A lot of jobs, they do price match whatever we invest in our 401k. So that's something that's free money that we're going to have to take advantage of. Now in the Roth IRA, the growth of the account, it's tax-free. You can enjoy tax-free withdrawals once you take it out of your account. There's no penalty and no taxes if you withdraw after 5 years of opening your account or until you're 59 and a half. And the max contribution that could be made to a Roth IRA is $6,000 a year. Now you do have to earn under $140,000 a year in order to open up a Roth IRA. So those are sort of like the conditions that you would need to open up a Roth IRA. Now, once we open up our Roth IRA, we gotta try and max it out every year. I mean, it's $6,000 a year. If we divide that by 12, then, we would have to be contributing $500 a month. I don't think that that's out of the reach for a lot of us. It could be, that there's people that, $500 a month is not able to be done. But if it's that, then we got to go back to our budget. The last episode that I was on, I was talking about that we have to have, an emergency fund, and we have to have a budget. So if we're not able to contribute $500 a month, and of course this is somebody that has a job, that is making some type of money, then we need to go back to our budget and we need to look at it and see how we can make that happen. It's up to us. We got to make sure that we have our future. We have the moves. We have made moves. We got to make sure that we put the plays in place in order to assure that our future is going to be good, right? Nobody else is going to do that for us. Nobody's going to come to save us. The government is not going to come, and we're not going to be, living off of stimulus checks, for the rest of our lives. We got to make sure that we put the plays in place. It cannot be possible that you're going out and you're maybe spending $500 in one night of partying and you're not able to put $500 aside for your retirement. So we got to definitely get our priorities in order and start making moves to make this happen. I have said for like 10 years, right? Like 10 years before, I was like, I want to save money. 10 years ago, right? I want to save money. Man, even if I put $20 aside, every paycheck, I want to save money. I'm barely starting to do that right now, right? I mean, if I put it into perspective, if I were to save money, $20 from every check, I would have $4,800 right now, almost $5,000. And it's the power, right, of starting now. Like if I would have started 10 years ago when I said, hey, I'm going to be putting $4,000 aside, man, I would have been good. If I would have started 10 years ago and I would have started putting money towards my Roth IRA, I would be pretty good right now. But man, that's what happens when we don't have, with our education, our financial literacy. So now, I'm glad that I started. So we're definitely on the right path. And, again, I want to tell you guys, I don't have it all figured out. I don't have, a bunch of money. I'm not, I already got it done. I made it, I'm on this journey. I'm barely starting it. I want to go ahead and bring you guys along with me as well. So we can, do it together. And we definitely need to do this within the whole family, right? There should be a time, at least once a week when we sit down with the whole family, our kids and everything, and we start talking about, our retirement. We start talking about investing. All this type of, talk within the family is going to be doing, wonders to us. But once you open up your Roth IRA, then we need to figure out how are we going to start investing in it, right? It's an investment. There is, losses with investments if we don't do our research. we can't open up a Roth IRA, put our money in one stock, and then think that nothing's gonna happen, right? Because that stock could definitely go up, that stock could go down. So we gotta know what we're gonna be investing our money in. So for the Roth IRA, if you want to be a little safer on the safe side, if you want to treat it more like a savings account, then you could definitely invest in bonds, right? Bonds, you get your interest on it. It's more secure than stocks. But I would recommend, an index fund or an ETF that we invest in our Roth IRA. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have any certificate, anything, right? So I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I always like to say that because I don't want somebody to think that, hey, this is for sure, I'm going to do what he says and I'm just going to make a bunch of money. But you definitely want to do your research. And like I said, this is the path where you want to be taking it towards. And just do your research on what I'm talking about on this podcast. But like I said, I would definitely recommend an index fund, ETF. We need to research which would be their best for. This is the savings account that we should be worried about, right? The last episode we talked about an emergency fund. So if you guys have a savings account, then definitely make sure that you have your 3, 4, 5 months there, 6 months, saved up. If you have money aside from that, then start investing in your Roth IRA. Start investing in your retirement. Retirement is for sure. We're gonna be getting old unless something happens to us. But time doesn't stop, right? So we're gonna be getting to that 60 years old, right? And we don't want to be getting to that place and then being like, hey, we don't have nothing, right? We're depending on whatever Social Security we're gonna be getting. But that's not the way to live either, right? We need to definitely start worrying about our retirement. And at the same time, we need to start worrying about our little ones' retirements, our little kings, our little queens. We can open up Roth IRAs for them as well. Now, like I said before, if you're 18 and over, then definitely go look at how you're going to be opening up your Roth IRA. If you're younger than 18, talk to your parents about opening up a Roth IRA for you. And, parents, definitely get your kids their Roth IRA, start putting them on the right path. Once they do get older, once they start contributing their own money to their Roth IRA, then it's going to be a simple transition, right? They're already going to know about it. It's not going to be something new to them. I remember when I was in school, they would put something like that in front of my face about investing, and I would just look at them like crazy, like, man, I seen The Wolf of Wall Street. I seen these movies, right, about guys with their business suits, a bunch of money being moved around. I thought that, it's like, how the hell am I supposed to, I'm over here living in an apartment complex, not knowing, what I'm gonna do next week, how I'm waiting for my paycheck, and I just didn't think it was even possible for us to even be in the same bracket, right? But it's possible. It's a game. The game is laid out for everybody to be played. I definitely want my people to have a seat there. So back to the Roth IRAs, right? If you're under 18, get your parents to open you a Roth IRA. For all my parents, if you got kids, there's no minimum age for you to open up a Roth IRA for them. They do have to have certain requirements, right? So they do need to qualify for certain things, but there's ways around it as well. So the child needs to have earned income, right? So they have to have money that they're making from working. Now, the child could have a side job, right? At age 8 years old, he could be cutting lawns, or he could be, picking up, he could even be doing the chores, right, from your house. So he could be throwing out the garbage, washing the dishes, and then you can have him that you're paying for those chores that he's making, and he could contribute that money to the Roth IRA. So there's definitely ways around it. There's little tricks that have been working, for centuries, and it's just like we have been kind of left out of the conversation. So if you got a kid, 7, 8 years old, hey, put him down like he's getting paid for the chores that he's doing, and you can contribute that money to his Roth IRA. So your child could be making this money, right? And he could be earning, he could be compounding this money without taxes, right? Because, he's not paying taxes for the money that he's making from his chores. So you got to take advantage of that time that he's not going to be paying taxes for the money that he's making, right? So we could start them off as early as 7, 8 years old, that they're making money from chores or it's cutting the grass or whatever, and we could start off their Roth IRA that way. So this is definitely something that we need to start doing. If we have a savings account, like I said, make sure that we have our emergency fund put away. Then any extra money, we can go ahead and start working towards our retirement. I'm gonna say it again, you know, the earlier that we start, the better off we will be. And it's all about consistency. Consistency. If we keep it up, then we're definitely gonna be seeing results. We have to start worrying about these type of things. They are for sure going to happen. We're gonna be getting old. Unless something happens to us, you know, we gotta, and if something happens to us, I hope that we have a life insurance that's gonna be helping us out. But we gotta be ready for these type of things, right? You know, I hope that, you know, you guys opened up your brokerage account from the last episode. And now, you know, I'm hoping that I'm getting you guys to open up a Roth IRA account. Definitely, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. We want to help. Everything is online nowadays. Like I said before, you know, if we're walking around blind in this age that is so much information, then that's on us, right? All I want to do is make sure that you guys know about this. And if you guys want to keep on doing what you're doing, that's cool. But if it's not working for us, we need to switch it up and figure out what can start working for us. I know that there's people out there that got savings account that's got a bunch of money in there, and they think that that's the way to do it. Gente, that's not the way to do it, because you're not going to be making any money on that. If we start putting it into investments, then we could definitely see some money out of that, and we could start. This is all transferable, right? If we don't want to use the money for our retirement, then we can transfer it over to our kids, and it's as easy as filling out some paperwork, right? This is what I'm talking about, because we want to have that generational wealth. It's true that, you know, we're not going to take our money with us when we go, but we do leave people behind, right? And we can leave that for them. And we definitely got to give them that education so that they're able to leave it for their kids, and, you know, the cycle could keep on going like that. We want to hear your feedback. We want to see what you think about this podcast, about this show. Don't forget, you know, to go to YouTube, like this video if you found anything useful on it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell for notifications. And tune in next week. Next week, we're going to be breaking down the different type of investment vehicles that there are, like bonds, stocks, ETFs, index funds, mutual funds. That way, you know, once you guys have your accounts opened up, we could do a little bit more research on what we want to invest in, and, you know, depending on our risk tolerance. But yeah, man, tune in next week. Ayan, this video was for you, man. My bad I wasn't able to upload it yesterday, but definitely check it out. I want you guys, you know, to watch these videos with the whole family, just to, you know, get everybody used to this financial literacy. Shout out to all my Latino community. Again, everybody going through it, man, in your countries, man, you know, keep the fight up. We definitely need to get what we deserve. And, you know, let's start putting a lot of bullshit aside. I always, you know, say this in every episode, because there's so much things that are dividing us, that are just, you know, meant to break us down. So let's start getting together as a community. There is no community without unity. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that, you know, I get you guys to open up your brokerage account and your Roth IRA. If you guys need any help, hit próxima, mi gente. Until next time, hasta la próxima, mi gente. Peace.